I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be demonstrating you certain experiences which I had from the exam, what I have cleared, and so let's pick up from where I started, and I am just quickly referring to the chat if everything is fine. If two or three of you can just confirm to me that it's all okay and you're able to hear me properly now. Yeah, it seems like it's all fine. So all of you, I did have a experience of clearing this exam, and one month I have entered the exam, educated level 1, level 2, and the training exam. And I just thought that why not share the experience with the entire group. And what this would let me is look into is if let me also just a second, please. I think, yeah. So what this would also let me do is pass on my experience to thousands of teachers who work with us, and also I'm open to having a full-fledged workshop for training them full-fledged. So all of you, most of you who are joined, they know me. I'm Director IT for Education Group with 135 schools. My qualification is I've done data analysis from LSE, London School of Economics. I'm an Oracle Certified Professional and a Sun Certified Java Programmer. Uh, my recent certifications include the Certified Educator Level 1, Level 2, and Trainer Skills Assessment Test. So the agenda for today is why Google certifications, about the new exam format. It's totally different. It's a brand new exam launched in May and June first week. Uh, Totally different. What it also does is it also checks your practical knowledge as well as your theory. So it's a different exam format. I would also provide valid tips on certification, as well as you could register for the workshop, which I'll be doing after the presentation sometime next week or so, because you need certain teachers might need preparation in preparation for the exam, and I'm more than happy to train as many as them. And what would be the next step after the Google Certified Educator Level 1 certification? So there are 4 exams in Google certification for educator. Level 1 is a certified educator, which is your starting point, which is the reason why everybody is online today to have a look at it. Level 2 is certified educator, then certified trainer, and certified innovator. I also request all of you, if you have any questions, probably wait for 10-15 minutes for me to complete the explanation, and then I'll follow the YouTube chat and answer the questions subsequently. And I have no way right now to see if all of you are able to hear me properly or not, but I'm assuming everything is working fine. And if there is any query, probably I'll have someone contacting me and informing me about the same and all. But hopefully, I think everything is working fine now. So the educator level 1 is for educators who have learned the fundamentals of Google tools. So it basically tests your basic knowledge of all the Google tools, what we've been using so far. The educator level 2, it actually goes beyond. It tests the advanced knowledge of all the Google tools which are possibly there in Gsuite and outside the Gsuite, the Google Suite for Education. It covers up a lot of applications and topics there. So it's basically validating your advanced technology integration skills. So the first one is standard technology implementation, and the second one is advanced technology implementation. The third and the fourth one are far more challenging, and I am just awaiting my result. It's like a fourth exam actually. The third exam is trainer skills assessment test, which is just a 25 questions theory test. But the fourth exam, which is the Google for Education Certified Trainer test, which is very, in fact, it requires a lot of preparation in the form of you have to complete all the three exams, complete the online study material what Google provides you with it, and as well as it wants you to create a 3-minute video of yourself explaining how you use Google and how uniquely you would use Google in one of the scenarios. So, and 10 out of 5 times they reject the certified trainer certifications and all. So yes, it is difficult one, and the last one, which is certified innovator, is one step forward with all the certifications completed. The last one actually has a certification academy which Google hosts. It used to happen in US first, now it's happening in different parts of India. And I mean, I'm yet to reach there, but I'm sure that's the next step. There are only 2,200 people in the world who come under certified innovator. It comes with its own benefits. But because our presentation is confined to Google certification level 1, first thing we need to understand before completing any certification is why would you like to do a Google certification, right? Why is it needed? Now, there are lots of reasons I thought of. Probably you can reiterate to it. One of the most basic ones is better understanding of integrating Google in your classroom. Second was probably improve your existing knowledge, because sometimes what happens is we know the tools, we don't use them. And what seems to happen is we might forget using it correctly, or we may actually not, envisage that, okay, fine, in this situation, I could have used that particular tool. So uh, that's one of the reasons. Second, third is enrich your resume. We all have been working hard. We've all been working for 10, 20, 30 years. Now, because we get so busy working, sometimes we don't, put in a lot of effort in enhancing your resume and making sure that it's updated. You are updated yourself with some technical skills, because now is the time where you see everybody's working at home and technology is what is driving everyone. So the better knowledge you have of the tools at this point of juncture, the better it is. So again, you get a Google badge, you get a certificate, what you're seeing on the right side, you get a Google Certified Educator badge. You could put it on your signature, you could put it on your LinkedIn profiles, wherever your resumes. So Google allows you to do that because the certification is valid for 3 years. It also opens up avenue for you for further training other teachers and schools if your work timings permits you. The most important one, excuse me, the most important one, what I thought so was to challenge yourself. Um, we seem to, challenge ourselves less. And the ProcterU online exam actually made me feel like a student. The exam was awesome because it actually didn't allow you to cheat. It didn't. It was monitoring through an artificial intelligence software, your camera, your voice, outside voice, your tabs, your sites you're visiting. It giving you warnings that okay, you cannot do this. So, and it was. I thought the experience was really good. Made me nervous for like 2-3 minutes. Then I was okay. And the final reason I feel is probably make world the technology savvy place, because this is the best time for all of you to update your technical skills. And the situation itself is such that it's letting you do. So coming back to Google Certified Educator Level 1, the exam is divided into two parts. The part 1 is 20 multiple choice questions. Trust me, you feel 20 is less, but they were tricky because they are just not multiple choice. What they also do is they test you on things like multiple mark, drag and drop, match the following. And they are tricky because they don't give you questions with only one answer. They give you questions with 2 answers, 3 answers, 4 answers. And some of them all, and in some cases all of them look right to you, so it's like, how do you think well and take a call on what's the best answer for that particular question. The biggest surprise for me was because frankly, I did the exam without even preparing much, because I didn't know what I was getting into. One fine night I was watching movies every night. In fact, after finishing the work, I said, "Fine, enough of it, enough of wasting time. Let me study." So I went online. I started reading about Google Certified Educator Level 1. I attended the link, which I'll share with you later on, and I just went and attempted the exam. But I was surprised that I got 11 scenarios which were practical questions based. Yes, it actually gives you a Google account, which is valid for 3 hours, and makes you complete about 11 scenarios. That's 11 tasks divided into subtasks. So it's at least 30, 40 exercises for you, which are practical based, which you cannot cheat on, because you have to solve them one by one, step by step. And that is what I loved about the exam, because it just didn't test you on the multiple choice. It looked into the scenarios also. It was actually testing you whether practically do you know the system or not. I'll show you the sample questions. As per the NDA, what I sign, or what everybody signs when give the exam, is I cannot tell you the exact questions received, but yes, I can help you in explaining you the format. I can explain you in training, but directly I cannot provide you the question. So I'll show you the sample question immediately after this slide, so that you get an idea how the questions look like. The time given was 180 minutes. Trust me, it is not sufficient. I finished in 2 hours because I was using Google for 15 years, but I have met teachers who told me that they were not able to finish it in 3 hours. So a proper time management is needed for it. And the pass percentage is big. It's 80%. That's very big number. So you cannot clear it until unless you go prepared there. Wouldn't suggest you to go for an exam if you're not prepared. Yeah, if you've been using for 10, 15 years like I was doing it, just go ahead and jump into it. But the exam is not easy. So you have to really have basic working knowledge. So let me show you the sample questions. So I've got a huge crowd. I've got like almost 300, 400 people on YouTube, and about 70, 80 of them are there on LinkedIn. I hope it's worth a while for everyone to spare the time and have a look at it. So if you see the first line, what it shows you is you will be given, let me just zoom it for you. So you will be given a test. Gsuite for education account, as it indicates, is to complete the Google Certified Educator Exam. And your test account will represent a teacher at a fictitious school. So actually you are given a Google account, you are a teacher, and what it does is it gives you multiple choice questions like this, like students are there in a history class, they are having difficulty in understanding the significance of World War II. What activities could help the students get more engaged, right? Choose the two answers. When you see the answers, you'll feel all are right. So those are the questions they provide you, in a way, trying and seeing that, okay, what are the real best scenarios you would feel that it would work, in work in that in situation. The the second type was the drag and drop, which you can all relate with match the following, where you had features and benefits on the other side. So you had to actually swap them, move them up and down, depending on what matched best, feature match best with the benefit. Now, the performance-based scenario which I was talking to you about. So what it does is it gives you a scenario. It's like your students have answered a few questions about an upcoming presidential election and submitted the results in Google. You want to review the results in spreadsheet, which all of you know. Then sort the sheet based on student first name. So again, one practical task. And the third task is create a pie chart that represents who they selected as their favorite candidate. So if you see, if you've not worked practically on spreadsheets, you might struggle to do this practically. You might. I'm not saying you all will struggle, because if you've been using a little basic spreadsheet also, you can do this. And you are not, okay, I'll come to the ProcterU, that what you're allowed, what you're not allowed, but that's just the situation. That is how you would get questions. You will get a question like, okay, make your YouTube channel and add 2 videos, right? If you've never YouTube channel, if you never upload, you would never know that. It would give you exercises like, okay, create your YouTube playlist, of different topics. So if you've not done that, you will struggle. If you've done it, then the level 1 exam should be okay for you. Now moving to the apps covered in the exam. I had a couple of people ask me on LinkedIn also, is okay, I think I have some complaints about my voice breaking. Someone else also reconfirm if my voice is okay here. I think Madhu's been commenting that um, everyone, can couple of you just reconfirm to me if the voice is fine. Okay, so I'm trying my best, but because a lot of people are there on the bandwidth, probably, yeah. So, okay. So I hope the internet connection suffices the situation. Fine. So the apps covered in the exam. So you have Drive, Docs, Sheets, Forms, Slides, Gmail, Google Sites, Groups, Calendars, YouTube, Google Meet, Google Classroom, the latest ones, and some of the ones which I had not used and which I just went about answering them is Google Tasks and Google Keep. Actually, if you see, Google Tasks and Google Keep are normally visible when you are actually on Gmail. On the right hand side, you'll see bars of Google Tasks and Google Keep. A lot of questions on Chrome browser and digital citizenship, which a lot of us neglect. But yes, digital citizenship is short nothing but how to be safe online. What are the precautions the students have to follow when they're browsing the net? How does the teacher be safe online? So it covers up all those topics and all. So just to give you a breakup of questions, the questions look like is uh, I was asked maximum questions from Google Sheet and Google Forms, which actually reiterates that they are the key tools for Google Gsuite for education when it comes to the basic. Then you had a lot of questions from Google Classroom, basic ones, Chrome browser, Chrome extensions. There were a couple of questions from Google Sites. Calendar had about 4 or 5 questions. So a lot of us actually work on creating a new calendar. So there were some few questions on creating new calendars, assigning it to students, parents, tricky ones. Again, if you've not used them, you might find them a little difficult. But as I said, Google Drive was focused. It's the most integral part of G Suite for education, and YouTube also, as I mentioned earlier, they asked to create a playlist. They asked you to add some videos to the playlist. They asked you to create a channel, which all has to be known if you really want to use technology integrated. That's why Google has given you 15-20 tools, because it doesn't want you to only use Google Slides or Google Docs. It wants you to actually make the lesson interesting by using 6-7 tools at a time. So that was the breakup of questions. If you see, I didn't have this list with me, but I'm allowed to share this with you. You might have it different than what I got, but more or less, when I've spoken to so many certified people, they all have somehow have had the figures close to this. So the numbers what you're seeing here are actually combination of multiple choice and the tasks. Though I said the tasks were 11, but they were divided into subtasks. So there were at least 35-40 tasks apart from 20 questions. So totally 50 to 60 questions was that was what I was asked on. So again, registering for exam, Google has changed the entire procedure. It used to have a different procedure before me, but I just attempted the exam, and just a day before that, they changed the procedure. I would advise all of you to register for the exam with the personal Gmail account. Avoid using the official account, because as soon as you clear the exam, the results are linked with your account. You might change your jobs, so your official ID might go with you when you leave the job. So be careful. Register for the exam with personal Gmail account. Now, I'll quickly show you. I had a tricky problem. It took me like 6 hours to register because I made a very silly mistake. And I hope you learn from the experience what I had. Is when you create the ProcterU exam. So that link, the presentation is what I'm showing you today is available in the description of the video. So if you click on it, all the links will be working for you. Now that's your site, edu.google.com/teacher-center. If you just Google, you'll get the link. Now it gives you, the exam is just $10. It's 180 minutes. It's valid for 3 years. And these are the steps. It's okay. First thing is you create the account. That's your ProcterU account. I'll explain you what is ProcterU. It's this is a revolution in education because all the students are going to be at home. So imagine your 10th standard exams happening at home one day. A board exams happening at home. So how are you going to monitor students, right? So there is an AI software, artificial intelligence software monitoring students, or they can be live, people monitoring the students. So there are two options which these ProcterU exams come with today. That's the future. Trust me, in 2-3 years down the line, you will see that happening. It's happening already with a lot of university exams today. So you create the exam, select the exam, schedule the exam, and launch the exam. Okay. So when you create and register the exam, make sure when you create the ProcterU account, now right now my account is created. In enrollment, you select Google, that is you want to give a Google exam. But if you are not scrolling down the terms and conditions, you will not be able to see. So because I am registered now, straight away it's saying, register for the exam. But remember, again, coming back to what I was saying, when you're registering first time, make sure you scroll the terms and conditions of ProcterU. Otherwise, it doesn't let you register and it keeps sending you back to the same page. You're wondering what's happening. So it's going to verify you with a Google, verifier pop-up where it tells you, okay, select the parts of a vehicle or select the signals in the picture, so that there are no robots trying to, sign up for the exam. So once you create the exam, you click on this link, register. It'll take you straight to an option where it tells you, okay, whether you want to schedule on demand or schedule for later date. So you could do on demand, means you could do it immediately. You just have to go through the agreement and pay $10 and go ahead for the exam. So remember, go through the terms and agreements, scroll them while signing up. Otherwise, you will have a problem in signing up the account. And once the account is created, pay $10 with your credit card. You can take it instantly or schedule the exam on a different date. Now, let's try and understand what is ProcterU exam. Again, very important because I didn't know all this. So what are the rules and regulations? So ProcterU first of all, works best in Chrome. Okay. You got some rules and regulations you need to follow. So again, I have a comment here. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Saswati Roy saying that the video is frozen. Again, could someone reiterate if I think everything seems to work fine here when I'm seeing. So could anybody reiterate? Okay. So I think everything is working fine. So again, understand the exam. You have a live proctor, or you might have a proctor which is flagging your behavior through artificial intelligence. These softwares are very smart. It won't let you answer, or it won't let you take the exam if your webcam is not on. If it sees anyone in your picture, it will make a comment there. If it hears any noise, external noises coming in, what it will do is it will prompt you that you're not allowed to do so. You have to be in front of camera view, your face, chin to forehead, like how you're seeing my video right now. No one can enter your testing area. Again, this is all artificially checked with the software. The technology has become so strong. It's going to keep, if you keep turning left, right, it'll give you alerts. If you keep doing it again and again, it won't let you copy paste from another browser, from websites. It won't let you do Google search. That's what I've been told now. When I was giving exam, it did let me do Google search, but now I have heard latest, it doesn't allow you to do so. It doesn't let you attach an extra monitor. A lot of people do have an extra monitor. You can't have a secondary monitor as mentioned. Also, you cannot utilize a virtual machine. Don't worry if you don't understand this. It's just that a lot of people, what they do is on a single computer, they have 4 or 5 computers created. So again, it's a little technical thing. Don't worry about that. So these are the rules. Imagine these are huge rules. I didn't know a $10 exam, they would do something like this, but Google wants to improve online exam. And after the COVID situation, they changed from a different, company. They used to have a different exam, which was open book. You could actually see what's happening. I heard people used to actually keep Google help window open, Google search, and get the answers there. The next thing is the ProcterU Chrome extension. So this Chrome extension practically locks you out. It just locks you out. It doesn't let you open any other window. So that's the extension. It'll mandatory tell you to install it. So remember, ProcterU has a couple of extensions on Google. You have to have ProcterU Google extension. It's an extension. What it does is it tests whether your uh, your camera, your audio, your speed test. It sees whether you have secondary monitor attached. It actually notifies you. So it's always a good practice that you test your equipment in advance so that you're not stuck on the day of exam. So that's how it looks like. That's how I was testing my equipment before the exam. So it says the camera is fine. It gives you a green icon. The microphone is fine. It says, okay, you have a single monitor. And then what you're seeing here is the speaker. So, sorry, not the speaker. It shows the speed test. Sorry, that's an icon for speed test. So it couldn't actually get my speed test. So it actually tells you also whether your speed test is good enough for the exam. So at this connection, what you are seeing my presentation, I think it should be fine. It shouldn't be a problem at all. So that way you could, do the needful. So testing your equipment, having the extension loaded, and quickly understanding. So I basically started in reverse manner. I started with registering first and then showing you tips in preparing the exam, because I thought registering is where I've seen a lot of people getting stuck, and ProcterU was something which you're not aware of, people are not aware of. So I thought, let me focus some energy on that. So quick tips on preparing for the exam. 2-3 ways you could do it. Complete the fundamentals training. So what is the fundamentals training? Every Google exam has a Google training itself. It's a wonderful training. It's got a lot of theory. Trust me. So what you need to do is go on the same page and click on start training. And what it does is it goes through 13 modules. If you see, there are 13 modules. It says you take 15 hours, but I think I did it in about 6-7 hours. I did it in 2 nights. So I was doing 3 hours, 2.5 hours every night. And I completed this. Now, you need to be again signed in your account, which you're going to use during exam. Please note this. Don't forget this. Don't try and do this activity without signing in or creating an account, because for your final third exam, the Google Trainer exam, Google wants you to complete all this. Won't let you take an exam if it sees that you've not completed all this. So make sure you complete this. It's very simple. Just click on get started. You'll get some questions coming in. The questions will start coming in after some text and some videos you watch. So what Google has done is Google is not training you app wise. Google is training you based on the topic. So it gives you one topic, and then what it does is it combines 7-8 apps in that topic. So that's a wonderful way of teaching. In fact, if today your teachers don't know, if you don't know Gsuite at all, start with this. It's a self-training guide. Some of you might find it difficult, but if you've done a little bit of Gsuite, this should be really good. I mean, they have demonstrated it really well. So you have, like it says, 1 of 5. So the first module has 5 subunits, and it just goes on. It shows you have 23 minutes to finish this. It doesn't say you have 23 minutes. It says estimated time. You might do it faster. So I was not jotting down any ideas, but if you wish to, please feel free to do that. But what the best part was, if you're jotting some ideas as a teacher, then you could actually recheck with what other educators are saying. So you could get more ideas from reading their experiences here. You've got some videos here. If you feel you don't have time to watch videos, you could just click on view the transcript and read it. So I was just viewing transcript and reading it. That way I was able to read faster and complete it, quicker. And then you've got a lesson check. Now this would be really helpful to you in multiple choice. There are certain questions which were indirectly linked to what you're reading on and completing this. Again, these are not very easy. Single choice questions are fine, but the minute you go on the multiple mark questions is where you will have some challenges there. I'm not saying it will be difficult, but some challenges. So that's how you'll go about. You'll go on edu.google.com site, or just Google it. There are 2 sites what Google has. Go on the latest one. Again, if you have my presentation, you can just click on this and you can get this link there with you. The skills checklist, very important for you. That once you go through this, whether are you aware of all these topics? Now, what I did was I searched a lot. I I made a list along with reference to what others were creating. Now, what those lists were doing was it gave you outline of each and every topic. Like I think I've already kept this open, if not mistaken. Just a second till it loads. Yes. So what I've done is, so suppose you have a topic like Google. What I've done is I've given you a sub topic for it, and you should be able to do all this. If you're able to do all this, you're ready for Google Drive. Then move ahead, Google Documents. Move ahead, Google Sheets, Forms, Slides. It's a big list, 16 to 20 apps. It's a big list. Now, you might feel overwhelmed, but trust me, what they're testing here in the exam is the basic knowledge. They don't want you to be a master. They want you to know the basic first level usage of the apps. So make sure you look into this list. Practice the apps and time your speed. So timing your speed, again, I'm having a tip here which will explain you about timing your speed. So we'll look into that. So this was the first tip I gave you was, preparing for the exam. The second tip I have for you is, what are the things you need to do before you start the exam? Okay, I explained to you about the ProcterU, but you have to also understand what is an incognito window. Now, why would you use an incognito window, and what's an incognito window? Now, what incognito window does is, Just Google it if you don't understand. Control Shift and N. So what it does is, when you open a browser in incognito, it doesn't save your history, and it makes sure you're logged out of all your accounts. Now, we all are used to having a couple of Gmail accounts. One is your official, one is your school account. So we might actually get confused with the third account when the account which actually you get it during the exam. So you get actually a Google exam during, when you start. So make sure you start in an incognito window. And please, the second tip, actually, I should have written it first. The most important one, you just get the username password only once. And that you get when you start the exam. You please copy paste or note it down somewhere, because I have seen instances where your exam shuts off in between and you don't have the username password. So then you need to go through the ProcterU support, which I have heard is really good. It does support you, but what it does is it makes you nervous during the exam. So try avoiding it. Write down the username password, very important. Incognito window. Do a check of your hardware. As I said, that will happen with your ProcterU extension. Have a stable internet connection and pin the tab. Please understand what I mean by pin the tab. You just need to right click on your tab and click on pin. Okay, so what will happen is you won't have a cross check mark here for the window which you're giving exam in. How many times it's happened that we've clicked this and shut the window by mistake? So please, I didn't open the tab before I started the exam. So right click, unpin, right click and pin again. We'll make sure you don't close it by mistake. It gets locked to your Chrome browser. Okay, that's a really good thing which I learned, one of the things which I learned during the exam. Again, when you start the exam, left side, that's where you'll have the webcam. Out here, it shows you the timing. Here, it shows you the scenario. That is the practical tasks, what you're doing. So you are supposed at scenario 2 out of 11. Task 4 of 4. That means scenario 2 had 4 tasks and you're at the 4th task of the 4th one. So please make sure you check all this when you're giving the exam. That's where all your exam questions come in. They all are hidden. That's your exam material. As I explained to you, you get a Gsuite ID, a Google Drive ID, and you get a folder with preloaded documents in that. So that's your exam folder. Review later. Again, certain questions you feel you don't know the answer to, click on it. Don't waste your time. Click on it. You can do it at the end of the exam. Might as well finish the ones which you know. And please be careful of the submit button exam. Certain people I have seen clicking here by mistake instead of clicking on scenario. So if you see here, scenario 2, once I complete 4 options, 4 tasks, I get start scenario 3 here. Please don't click here till you're at the end of the exam. The last one here, if you see the ProcterU extension, it gives you a message. If you're trying to play around, trying to open windows, trying to visit websites which are not allowed to, it monitors you all the time, the extension. So that was how the screen would look like when you start the exam before the question, when the question loads up for you. During the exam, the third tip. Now, how much ever Google Suite you know, a lot of us I've seen struggle with learning how to share the files in form of permissions. That is, whether you want the files to have edit permission, view permission, or comment permission. I'm not training you today how to do it. We might probably have a session sometime later. But if you don't know this, that means you don't know Gsuite. You have to learn how to share the files and view only, how edit only, outside the organization, inside the organization, for the public, or totally private. You should know how to do that, because every task I did required you to share the file with a group in your school, in your fictitious school, in the imaginary school they created for you. Please remember that. That's the most important tip. Second thing is, I have told you copying is not allowed from outside the browser, but copying the text. Now, when I showed you the exam material folder, okay, so you're allowed to copy text from there. Okay. Now, it might give you an activity. Okay, fine. Name a file as Anand Chawla. Okay. Now, instead of typing Anand Chawla yourself, I would go on the document which gives me the instructions on what the file name should be. I would copy from there and paste it in the new place, because in typing you might make a mistake of naming the file wrongly. Remember, if you're given any activity of typing 2 lines, might as well copy it from the exam document. The question will tell you that, okay, if you're creating a Google form, the first question is what is your name. You copy what is your name, which is there in a Google Doc in the form which you're creating. I hope I'm able to explain you, but just rewind it in case, after the presentation, if you don't get it, what I'm saying. MCQ questions, the third one, important tip, it shows you whether the question has 2 right answers or 3 right answers. Okay, I have somebody commenting, please highlight it. Please ask me this question once I complete. I think I'm on the verge of finishing the tips. Probably then you can put in the comments so that I could, and somebody's quoted, it's the Zoom is slow. So don't worry, just make it full screen, or just refer to the presentation after the recording. I've left it at the description link. So coming back to the MCQ questions, as I was telling you, make sure the MCQ questions, you see how many right answers they have. It tells you at the top that this question has 2 right answers. This question has 3 right answers. Yeah? Make sure you read that. Time management. Again, very smart. If I was you, what I would do is spare 20 questions, 40 minutes. I would time myself, okay, I'm not going to spend more than 40 minutes in multiple choice questions. If I don't know answer for any multiple choice question, I might mark it for review so that I can revisit it later on if time permits. Because sometimes what happens is in questions, it's just like how you tell your children, right, when they write exams. So that's the same thing I'm telling you. So make sure you mark the student questions for review. When you submit the exam, before you submit it, it will tell you to clear the questions which you have marked for review. The task questions, because I said there are 11 of them, sometimes you get 12. Each of them are divided into subparts. So you might have like 30, 40 of them, or 30 of them, 40 of them. So what you could do is spare 4 to 5 minutes for each task, not more than that. So that's why I've given 10 minutes for each scenario. So that is 10 into 11 is 120, 110 minutes. I'm seeing, okay, 120 minutes here, 140 here, and 20 minutes here. That completes your 180 minutes. So that was your tip on time management. Now the fun is, once you clear the exam, you don't get instant results. You have to wait sometimes 10 days, 14 days. Yes. Now that's a painful wait because you've prepared so hard. Earlier, what used to happen is the results used to be instant, but Google has stopped doing it. I think they have a very stringent way of, I'm sure they have an algorithm again which cross-checks your practical submissions also, because there are thousands of teachers today giving certified level 1. Thousands of them. That's what I'm seeing. In COVID, they've increased by at least 10 times fold the kind of certifications teachers are completing. So it sends you, I got a message that you'll get result in 7 days. I got it in 2 days actually. But of late, I'm hearing the results are taking about 10 to 15 days. And that's a painful wait. So, but that's how it is. Once you clear, you get an email again. It doesn't tell you how many right, wrong you got. It'll just give you your exam result. It'll send you a lovely badge here, which you could put on your resume or LinkedIn profile. I'm telling you, it's a proud thing to have it because it reiterates that, okay, you are knowledgeable. It makes you feel proud. And as and when you keep continuing clearing them one by one, you'll see it starts getting difficult. You get a certificate which is valid for 3 years. Again, helpful for you, for your personal growth. So finally, next steps. What I plan to do is, I plan to put in, because I've got a lot of requests from a lot of teachers and helping them and, getting them Google certified. So what I plan to do is within a week, 10 days, create an online module for all the teachers who are interested and teachers who are really who want to put in an effort, because it is time consuming to learn all those apps. As I explained you, the apps, the skills what you require are all these. So there'll be two benefits you have. You have two benefits with this. One is if you don't know them, you will learn them to the point where you can clear the exam. And if you know it, you could just brush it quickly and just register for exam and go ahead. So those of you who are interested, just go on this link. It's bit.ly/GE register, REGISTER, all in capitals. It's Google Educator, then register. Just fill up a very small form. And what I'll do is, once I'm ready with the modules, currently what I'm doing is I'm going to make it as self-recorded lessons for all of you. And what I'll do is I'll try and do a couple of live sessions so that before you go and give exam, we just brush through up, revise everything. But the recorded lessons will be good enough for you. And each lesson, probably I'll try and keep it down to 5-10 minutes, not more than that, with an activity which you can work on your own. So that completes my presentation. I'm sorry you had to wait 15-20 minutes. I was trying to do something extraordinary, but trying to broadcast in 5-6 different locations, but ultimately the bandwidth couldn't take it. But I'm open to questions on YouTube chat. I'm reading a couple of them right now. I think Priya ma'am has put in, what if you don't clear in the first attempt? Yes, you have the second attempt, which you can have after 2 weeks, 14 days. But if you don't clear on the second attempt, then you have to wait painful 3 months to give it in third attempt. So that's how it is. And I think Shweta is asking if the workshop is a day only or multiple. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to tie you up on a particular day. I'll record and keep it online with activities. I'm just still exploring the platform, whether it be Google Classroom or a private platform. And if you register, there's nothing you have to pay. You just have to go and register. And what I'll do is I'll pre-upload and keep them, and you can do it at your own convenience. But make sure you go through the Google Fundamentals link training. Pallavi Sharma is asking how many levels. Pallavi, I put in at the end, at the beginning of the presentation, there are 4 levels. So certified level 1, 2, then Google Trainer 3, and Google Innovator 4. There are only few Google Innovators in the world. Is anybody? Okay, so I'm just saying. Okay, so Pooja Chakravarti is asking, why is this only valid for 3 years? So Pooja, this is valid for 3 years because they are changing the applications quite often now. And we didn't have Google Meet in classroom, I think 3-4 years back, as how it is today. So what they want you to do is refresh your knowledge, and come back and learn, the apps again and retest it. So Shalini Datta is asking, the workshop that I'll conduct will be of 1 tasks of level 3, 4. Shalini, no, I will cover up all the apps in level 1 only right now. And I'll cover it to the extent which is enough for you to clear the exam. So I won't give you the actual questions, but I will create dummy scenarios for you, which will be very close to what the exam looks like. I don't want to be unfair to Google working so hard and open out their questions and all. Nilesh is asking, can we use our Android mobile phone for the test? No, Nilesh, I would not I wouldn't advise you, because you have to do a lot of practical activities. You will struggle on mobile phone. Please do avoid it. Do it on a laptop or phone. You can take the principal's permission and give the exam in the school if you feel you need to do so. You'll have to just write it on an email to the respective principals. Anybody else? How much fees? Ujwala Mishra, it's $10 per exam for level 1. Level 2 goes to I think $20, $15 or $20. Yeah. Any other questions, everyone, or we are good to go? Deepika, there are no qualifications needed for exam. You should have basic working knowledge of Gsuite. If you don't have it, just join the workshop, which I have listed here in the last slide. I'll make sure I add all of you, whoever is interested. So let's try and have a big batch going for the exam together. if possible. It'd be good fun to do that. Okay, Bharti. Okay, what if during exam there is network issue? Yes, Bharti, that's what I said. Keep your internet stable and note your username passwords, what you get in when you register for the exam, when you start the exam, because you can restart it from where you left, but your time will not be extended. So that's how it is. Yes, Prima Sarda, you have to pay in form of dollars. You can pay via credit card. You can probably take your friend's help who have a credit card in case you are not able to do so. So Sheikh Azhar is asking that he knows most of the topics like Google Drive, browsers, Google Form. I think Sheikh, that's good if you know. So you can attempt the fundamentals training of Google online. Make sure you complete it because it'll make it mandatory for you when you want to go or further levels. It'll track you if you complete it or not. And again, all of you note, use your personal account of Gmail and follow that everywhere. Use that everywhere from registering to completing the online Google modules. So we have 5 minutes more. You don't need the STEM labs. Uh, you don't need. Can we switch Google Tabs? Okay. Oh, sorry. I think STEM coordinator Karad is asking, can we switch Google Tabs? Yes, you can. You can. It allows you to switch tabs, but make sure your main exam tab, you're right clicking and pinning it. Any training or exam for admin? Yes, Anjali, there is. I can share it with you. I can share it with you. There is a separate exam for admin. It's very detailed. It's not easy. But there are very few admins who want to go for it because the teachers are the one who go the educator level 1 exam. So yes, you can write to me. I can help you in giving you that link also. Sampada Mirashi, you can register for exam on your own. You don't need to do the workshop if you feel you're confident, but make sure you complete the Google fundamentals training. It was at the beginning of my slides. It's a training which Google itself suggests you to do. It's really good. Aditya Trivedi, any exam material, loads of it, loads and loads of it. Go through it, just Google it. You'll get so many of them. Sneha, where can you get training for this exam? This link, if you fill it up, I'll add you up to the workshop. It's free. You can just do it at your own pace. Okay, everyone, I think we are good to go. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry for the trouble of the bandwidths. The last thing I wanted to, after practicing, to go live 3-4 times yesterday. But I think it ended well. I'm so happy so many of you were there online. And I'll go through the feedback, the workshops, the number of people who registered, and I'll see you soon in the recorded lessons workshops. Uh, I think there's one more question. Yes, you can register directly for exam. You don't need to go through me. Great, Shalini, and thank you so much. I think the rest of the tools, I'm running out of the time. It's already 4:20 now. Thank you so much. And you can write to me at my ID, anand@poda.org. Feel free to write to me and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.